Hey guys, welcome to OCD Recovery. And I'm Momin, and today I am in Nathia Gully. So I live in Lahore, but I was up here for the weekend with my friends. This is like a mountain region. Um, so I just want to do this video and talk a little about taking discomfort for the ride because when I started to work on my OCD recovery journey. Wait, let me just show you. This is where I am. My hotel is up there. We're actually about to leave for Lahore, so we just got packed up. So I had 10 minutes. I thought I'd make a video. When I started to work on my recovery, and I started to look at what are my core fears and stuff like that. One of the two was just fear of discomfort or fear of having uncomfortable sensations. And I'll tell you how that relates to taking this trip with my friends today. That discomfort related to several things like physical discomfort, of course, mental discomfort, and then there was also a lot of emotional discomfort that I was afraid of. So, for example, if I would feel sad, if I would feel angry, if I would feel regret or guilt or shame, like the physical discomfort, the discomfort of feeling that in my body. So ultimately it came down to like a fear of sensations, fear of having uncomfortable sensations. I'm walking down this path. Our car is up there, but I'm just taking a walk while making this video. Look. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you some new scenery as well, other than just my room and my wall behind me. So I just want to go over quickly of how that related for me, that fear of discomfort. So number one was that whenever I would have to face any potential dislike or disapproval of my parents, it would be like a monstrous thing for me to deal with, because I thought, oh my god, they would dislike something that I do, and if I had to talk to them about something, I would have this big lump in my throat and would just be on edge, completely anxious, and that would be my reaction if I had to talk to them about something that I thought, oh my god, it would get their dislike or disapproval, or even that expression. So in terms of taking a trip like this, I think my fear would be that, oh my god, what if they are just annoyed that I'm going, because I have an active social life, and obviously parents being parents, they sometimes are like, hey, why don't you spend some time with us, and obviously I try to make time to be with them as well, but obviously and I understand that they want me to be around them. They're in their 60s, so I think they also want to be okay, we don't want to think that we haven't spent enough time with our kids in our life. But so for example, if I go out a lot, at times it'd be like, oh, he's going again. It'd be like an eye roll thing. And if I had to go out to city sometimes, that would be something that would make me really, really nervous, because I would not want to just annoy them about that. So for this trip, what happened was, even if it was up to even a year ago, and this trip came up, I would feel quite nervous and about bringing this up and telling them, okay, I'm going with my friends or something like that. But this time around, it was a very spontaneous plan. It was very last minute, and I did not feel nervous. I wasn't scared. It wasn't blowing out of proportion in my head. I wasn't like, oh my god, but if I talk to them and if they no. After having worked on my recovery, after having doing exposures, after having put myself in uncomfortable situations, just to face that fear of discomfort and all of those things, even with regards to my parents or my siblings or other like loved ones. Like if I have done things, sorry, I was coming up here and a bit out of breath. So I used to be, I mean, I did that over like 2 years. And so this time around, I mean, I was completely okay with just bringing this up and just saying, hey, I'm just going for the weekend. Just randomly bringing it up. And I had in mind that, oh, maybe they might be annoyed again. Or maybe they'd be like, oh, he's leaving again. But I wasn't worried about that. It wasn't giving me a lump in my throat. I wasn't like preparing a speech in my head for like 10 minutes or, just thinking, oh my God, how do I say this? At what moment do I bring this up? Should I bring this up during dinner or before dinner? Those are the things that I used to think about. Even though it's not like I had some, toxic relationship with my family or anything of those sorts. But it was just something that was in my head. It was just something that I was so like chronically afraid of happening. So yeah, I mean, in the context of this trip today, this weekend that I took, it's a completely different approach, and I felt very different from the last time something like this happened, which was perhaps maybe before COVID or something. But so yeah, I just wanted to highlight that difference. The second one was demotivation. So I used to not be okay with spontaneous plans. And so this time around, like my friends literally called me just the night before and say, okay, we're leaving tomorrow morning. I mean, they didn't even ask me. They didn't even give me an option. They said, we're just leaving. And again, if this was a year ago, I would have immediately said no, because I would have needed time to mentally, emotionally, and physically prepare for the trip and get up my butt and go like on the road or something like that. I would be very, very averse to like suddenly getting up and doing something. Like, and demotivation is something that I have struggled. I mean, it's one of the biggest obstacles I've had throughout my recovery journey. And I even did a video. In fact, I should do another video on this, like after 2 years. But it has been one of my biggest obstacles in my recovery journey, and I think, I mean, I've become way better at handling it. Like, even if I'm not feeling motivated enough to deal with something or like complete a task, I still go ahead and do it. There might be like once a month, there might be like a day or two where I would take 2 days to complete one small task. Sometimes it still happens, but that doesn't matter, because I have, like, for the most part of it, I have made so much tremendous progress on that. So yeah, up till a year ago, I would be very hesitant to just get up and push myself, because I had a fear of being overwhelmed as well, which sometimes still comes in. It creeps back in a little bit, but that fear of being overwhelmed, that used to really scare me as well. So I used to think, oh my God, I'm demotivated. I don't want to do this. So if I do this, if I push myself to do this, then I would be overwhelmed. And oh my God, like, I don't want to be overwhelmed. I'll be overwhelmed and emotionally burdened and mentally burdened, and I'll be exhausted. And what will I do? That would make my life bad. I would be unhappy. That train of thought. But when they called me for when my friend called me for this trip, I said, okay, let's do this. And it was still out of my comfort zone. I'm not saying that I was completely let's go. No, I was still uncomfortable with it to quite a degree. But I wasn't feeling like the world is going to crumble around me and this is going to be so terrible. I'm going against my will. Why are they doing this? Why don't they understand? How do I make them understand this? I want to stay in bed or just stay at home generally and do things by myself. But like, I don't know. I mean, I guess like with recovery, it's not just about your like bigger themes or stuff like that. It's also just about everyday decisions that we are often like growing out of proportion and just like feeling these intense, like overwhelming, panicky emotions with small everyday tasks. But that doesn't happen now. Like I feel okay dealing with things. And here's the interesting thing I will tell you. On this trip, I think it was just last night that I started to feel okay. I was from the first night. I was very unwell. I wasn't doing well. I was nauseous throughout the night. I felt like I was going to throw up. I couldn't sleep. And then yesterday I made like a stupid decision. I went on a 1.5 hour hike. I'll try to put some pictures in this video, just like a small slideshow type thing. Maybe if you just to show you guys a hike. But I went on a 1.5 hour hike, which was a difficult hike, on an empty stomach because I couldn't eat anything. And I thought, oh no, I want to physically exert myself. Haha, let's go. But I was like, what have I done to myself? And I was dying on that hike. Eventually I didn't walk up till there. There were horses in between. So I rode a horse up till that mountaintop. And it was great. It was convenient. I felt awesome. I still made it. And then we sat on like the plane that we were there and we played Monopoly Deal, the card version of Monopoly. And we chatted, we took pictures, and it was a nice time. But if there was like a depiction of what taking discomfort for the ride means, this would be that. And even after that, I felt much better because I had green tea on my way to the top, but I still wasn't feeling 100%. I was very, very exhausted, obviously, and my body felt run down, but here's the difference. I didn't feel like, oh my god, why did I come here? I shouldn't have come. I regret this so much. I'm so annoyed at my friends that they made me go to the hike. I am so annoyed that they planned this thing. Why did I say yes to this at the last minute? Why couldn't they told me like some days before? Those are the things that would go through my head. I would be in this cycle of annoyance and anger and just be ready to like bite someone's head off. But I'm not annoyed at them. I'm not even annoyed at myself. I don't even though I made that stupid decision, but to go on that hike on an empty stomach, but I don't regret that. I'm not beating myself up for it. I still had a really good time. The weather is awesome here. And it was uncomfortable, very uncomfortable and very unideal, to be very honest, at some points, but I felt okay. I was fine. I was at peace I accepted the situation for what it was. That's it. I didn't like it. I didn't agree with it. I didn't want it to happen, but it was happening, so I didn't put up that internal resistance of, why is this happening? That usually happens with those really sufferers. And the third thing I want to bring up from the motivation is just to extend that further, is that again, that emotional, mental and physical discomfort that I've already talked about. And physical discomfort I went through. Emotional and mental discomfort, I used to think that I need time to prepare myself, because what if I'm not in the best headspace on my trip? Or what if I'm not emotionally ready to take this trip, or like be around other people for 2-3 days constantly? Those are the things that I would constantly question, and I would have this internal check on myself, on my feelings and my thoughts. How am I feeling? How is my mental headspace? Am I good enough to do this? And I used to say no to my friends all the time. I used to say no. I used to just reject going out. I used to make up reasons. I used to lie. I used to make excuses. Or sometimes I would even make them just say that, but no, I'm really, really anxious, I can't do this, and just use that as my way to get out of situations. But yeah, for me to agree to like this very last minute short notice plan, just jump into it, just say yes, bring all the discomfort for the ride and be up for, okay, even if there is discomfort, even if I'm not going to feel the best over there, I'll see to it, I'll handle it, I can stand it, I can do this. And I mean, this is not just like a script that you go over in your head. I mean, throughout the script, I wasn't like, oh my god, I can do this, yay, moment. No, I mean, it wasn't that. I mean, it wasn't the script I was running through my head. It's been 2 years of, not consistently because there were parts where I was coasting, but I mean, but 2 years of working on exposures and working on disputing my worst case scenarios and my beliefs and all those things, because otherwise how could I change my perspective on this? How could I change my approach to this? How could I make myself used to feeling uncomfortable if I did not do those 2 years of actually doing it physically through like touching different things and stuff like that? I had contamination OCD, if you guys don't know, or if I didn't mention before. I mean, why would you know? But yeah, it's been that where I am here right now on this trip, and parts of it weren't great, but parts of it were really great. So yeah, I just want to highlight that. I just want to make note of that and tell you guys that, I mean, it really is possible. And if you are just relying on running through things theoretically in your head through a script, or just like trying to make yourself believe this, that in itself won't work, because you have to take that leap of doing the bigger, scarier things that make you that you think that will make you really anxious or that will make you really uncomfortable. You have to start doing those things. You have to start going out of your comfort zone to come to this point where where like a slight inconvenience in your life does not feel like you're falling down a mountain. So yeah, my world did not crumble. I did not die. Nothing happened. And if someday the world does crumble around me because of facing my fears, I will film it, I will make a video of it, and I will post it on YouTube. I will show you guys that, hey, the world does crumble by facing your fears, so don't do it. It was all a lie. I would do that. So far that hasn't happened. My life has changed for the best. So yeah, go towards your fears. Let's do this. Bye. I'm on my way to Lahore.